Okay, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle. This is my Mixed Media Madness channel, and today I am finally getting a chance to do some videos for my channel. So we're going to start where we left off, which was I was working on a book for a challenge. It was called Stitch in Time Challenge, and it was with a junk journal group called Junk Journaling for Everyone. And I made some videos along the process, but somewhere along the path I got into a little bit of a health issue, and I was trying to just spend my time recovering, which meant no filming at that time. I've been working on some of the technical issues, and I hope that the sound is good. I hope that this looks good on screen. I don't know if that's going to get any better until I get something different to record with. I'm just using my phone. And we're back. So I turned off the sounds to my phone, so hopefully we're not interrupted. So back to the book. So this was my finished book. I used the material that I said I was going to use, which was the blue linen that I had already done some experimental stitching on, and so I decided to use it for the cover since it went so nicely with this little bird collage that I had made, and so I just went with it. It's kind of a little imperfect, it's a little crooked here and there, but I'm happy with it overall. So some of these pages you may have already seen. Just a heads up, this is going to be a flip through, show and tell, and a little bit of chit chat about what's going on, what I'm doing in the future, and yeah, just kind of getting back into the swing of things. So here are my first two pages. This was a bird reminiscent of a robin or something, and some ginkgo leaves with some fun stitching. And then these mushrooms that I made out of yo-yos, which I used to have a full-size yo-yo sitting here. No longer do I have that. So then I just did some simple French knots and straight stitches for the little flowers at the bottom. And just some fun stitching. I think this was a Italian knotted stitch or something to that effect. I don't know, it's in the video I made showing more about that. This represented my really tough day once I had got started, so I just made this chaotic thread nest, stitched it down, and added one of these Dorset buttons. I think I got that right the first time. And then there was this page with the mushrooms and the bookmark, a little fun crayon. I put crayon, I heat set the crayon, I did some stamping, and then just stitched over some of the mushrooms and added some vintage tablecloth trim that I have. I think this is crocheted. Looks pretty much like crocheted trim. Then over here with this tulip tree, I did the leaf of the tulip tree. It's not a tree. And I did some beadwork on the one side. Then the last two pages were, again, where I got into that time where I needed to just take a break and really not do a whole lot. And so when I sat down to stitch these pages, I really just kind of took what was in front of me on my desk and just started stitching, and I didn't worry too much about the end product. I just wanted to have something to stitch. So I just color matched some threads with some fabrics that I had on hand and just went to town doing some straight stitch across that. And then here I had this piece in that I was in process doing. Again, I was checking out different stitches, doing circles, trying different ways. And so I just added a couple of pieces of wool applique and turned them into a little bit of like flowers. So that became the last page. I just kind of lost steam at that point, put it away, and then I eventually stitched that long piece of wool together into pages. So I just joined them and stitched them. And then I have this big spine, so really, if I wanted to, there's room here to add like a page or two if I wanted in between. So I could also take the stitches out and then do more. So lots of freedom if I want to expand. So that was my completed book for my Stitch in Time challenge. So if you're here just to see that, you can, I guess, turn it off now, or you can keep watching for other projects that I've been messing around with and finally getting some work done on. So one of those projects I had started before I ever started that book was to do this wool applique robin on, this is not the American robin, I think this is more like the European robin. I'm not even sure if it's original of its actual name. But the background is batik with a felt backing just to give it some stability. So I just started stitching some feathers and on his wings and just giving it different textures. I will probably do some couching of a different fiber on top of this to look more like branches. And then if I feel like I want to tackle this, I might just get some stitching done in some of the places in the pattern of the batik fabric. So again, carrying on with the birds. And then I had also started working on this little teeny tiny, it's called a slit slot needle book. Slit slot binding style, I guess is what it is. So it's made up of a bunch of pages that look like this. This is the slit, and some of them have the slot. So it's held together by itself. So did blanket stitching around the outsides. I don't need another needle book, but I guess I could use one because I have all these projects. It's good to keep the needles for each project separate because I usually find that I like a certain needle for a certain project. Then my son's girlfriend, he gave me this fabric. I want to say it was maybe for at Mother's Day. Anyways, it was all these little squares, and each of them had a like sewing themed saying and picture. So I just took this one and decided that I would just do a little stitching around it. And so that's just a little piece that I did one evening, just trying to get to sleep. And yeah, so just a little piece of wool behind it. That's just really relaxing for me. So let me talk about this one. This one is a Christmas gift in a way, because I just want to make sure I'm in camera here. I wanted to do a stitch along with a group of people that, sometimes, as it's said, if you pay for something, you tend to have more of a commitment to it. So that's what I did. I asked my husband for this is a Christmas gift. So in January, I'm starting this 30-day felt applique stitch along with a, I don't know if she has a YouTube channel. I'd have to check that out. I think she does. I think it's Beth Coletti. Anyways, this is my setup, and we'll see where it goes. Right now, I'm just in the process of stitching these circles down, and then just wait for the prompts when that starts in January. So that's a personal project for me to kind of get going. And then today, because I didn't have enough going on, I decided that I would finally make one of these Japanese rice bags. So this is just my starting setup. Japanese rice bag is about 5 by 5. It's kind of like a box. This is how you set it up, and you stitch these together, these, and so forth, and then you make a lining. But this fabric I chose, I have altered this fabric. It used to just be cotton. I dyed it orange with some acrylic paint with like a shimmer in it. And then these other rust and tea dyed. Yeah, it was rust and tea in a rust and tea bath in the summer. I dyed that fabric. So again, just put some wool on the back for stability. I will make a lining for the bag out of the rest of this eco-dyed fabric. I have a few pieces, so this isn't enough. I need just as many pieces to finish. So I'll make another progress video on this. So that's for me. That's just for fun. I have already used that fabric to make this little pouch with a pattern from, I think it's called Honey Folk Clothing Company. She's on Instagram. I think she might have a few videos. But I bought that pattern and then learned how to make this spider web pouch. I think that's what it's called. So this fabric was fun to use, and I wanted to use it again. Okay. And we're back. So, present time. So these are a few different presents that I've been working on. We'll get to those in a minute. But I have a new grandbaby this year at Christmas, and so I made for her a set of fabric alphabet letters. So at this, excuse me, at this point I need to throw these in some like little net bags, I guess they're called lingerie bags, and get them in the washer and dryer and hope that the fabrics don't bleed. Most of them have been pre-washed already, but I just decided to take some scrap fabrics I had laying around and some that are from other things I've made for family members. But my daughter-in-law loves the classic Winnie the Pooh, and so do I. And so I chose some of that print and mostly flannel. There is some cotton, but most of this is all flannel. And so a little grandbaby who I'm not going to share her name because I don't know if her parents want her name shared this publicly, and so I'll just respect that. And just say that I have to make a couple more letters in order for her to spell her name. So that is something I will want to do soon. But so this is a little gift to my granddaughter. Then for my son, who enjoys lots of different crafts, including woodworking, and he has a channel on here for woodworking. He also does a little bit of embroidery stuff, and so I was making this as a sample for a class, and I thought, oh, well, what do I do with it? We didn't have the class, and so his wife told me he would like that for a needle book for himself. So the only thing I have left to do here is to add a couple of pieces of like strips of felt to give a place for some needles, and then I'll probably do a little initial and a like 23 for the year. So there's that little mushroom needle book. That's just regular craft felt. Some of this is merino wool blend felt, but most of it's just regular craft felt. But this needle book I made for a member of our family, and you might recognize these colors. My 30-day stitch project, I love these colors so much I decided to use what was left, which was a lot of felt, use what was left and start the 30-day stitch project with that color combination. So again, this was from a free pattern from Beth Coletti, and I just thought this was such a cute idea. So I pretty much followed her cover to the T as far as the design and where the buttons are, and just some different stitches. Then I added some space for lots of kind of needles for embroidery or just sewing. Did a hexagon, just some little shapes. I'm including some needles in her gift, and so these I stitched down with the sewing machine. And then there's this little pocket, so she could either keep the packaging in here, although these packages are a little too big, but just some places to put some needles and pins. And then another little pocket here, and these are just loops, so she could put something there that she might stitch with. And another pocket and loop. A little imperfect, but that's okay. And then a little sort of flower. And then a little pocket back here for thread or scissors or more needles. But I just love this color palette. I got this from Benzie Designs. That's their Harvest Moon palette. And I just made a little needlebook for my son's girlfriend. So that's what I've been busy doing while I've been resting. It seems like this is a lot of work, but to me this is just resting. This is fun. We've also been doing a bit of home improvement around here with getting some new appliances and painting some rooms and just rearranging. And so now I have 5 days to get my house back in order for our family Christmas. So that's where I am. That's what I've been doing. Like I said, this project here, I hope to finish in the next few, next day or two. And hopefully I'll have a real good progress video on that. And I'll have to link the lady whose channel I found a really easy tutorial to follow. There's a lot of instructions to make this Japanese rice bag, and they're very easy, but yet some people make the instructions very hard. This one was super easy. So this, my 30-day stitch project, and then my robin. And in between all of this, I taught a class to make a type of project like this, more like it was a 7x7 size. This is a 5x5, but it was a bird fabric collage. So I taught how to do collage, how to do stitching, and my intention at that class was to follow up with some how-to videos for that specific technique. And that was when there's just threads everywhere when you're a stitcher. I guess that's just what happens. But anyways, hopefully I will get to make those videos like I wanted, and hopefully our dreary weather gives me a few sunny days here in the next few weeks and I can get back to making those videos. Okay, I guess that's all. Thanks for watching. I think we're about 25 people away from my 100 subscriber giveaway, and hopefully I will have a video on that soon. I have the paper ephemera pack still off to the side, and then I'm going to put together a fabric pack as well to another winner. So there'll be two or three, actually 3 winners. An international winner, which will get a gift card, and then somebody who wins the paper ephemera pack, and then a fabric sample pack. So so if you haven't liked the video and subscribed to this video, you'll miss out on the giveaway, I guess. But hopefully I'll see you guys all back in the future. Maybe another video before Christmas. We'll see if I get all my work done.